Hey there, LEGO fans and Potterheads. I am the lawyer in the LEGO shed, and this is the third in a series of videos that I'll be making this year as I build my way through the magical world of LEGO Harry Potter. I've been collecting Harry Potter LEGOs since the line started back in 2001 with the release of the first movie. And for this video series, I will be building the sets that have been released as part of the more recent waves of Harry Potter LEGO, beginning in 2018 and stopping with the 2023 releases. My plan is to go in movie order, and so without further ado, let's get started. Our third set is going to be Diagon Alley, set number 75978, which I'm showing a picture of here. This set is so large that I've decided to do 4 separate videos, with each video focusing on one of the 4 separate instruction manuals. I really loved this set, but like many things in the Harry Potter LEGO line, there were things that I wanted to change. And so for this first video, we're going to start with the section that I have made the most changes to and is the most complete as far as those changes are concerned. So here is my version of Quality Quidditch Supplies and the Daily Profit. In the Diagon Alley set, this is the second instruction manual. And when Harry enters Diagon Alley for the first time in Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, this is the first shop where we get to see a shot from the interior, Quality Quidditch Supplies. And I'll show a little clip here of that moment happening in the actual movie.
World-class racing broom.
Wow! Look at it! The new Nimbus 2000! It's the fastest model yet.
The set was released in 2020 and had 5,544 pieces. It was so exciting to get a set like this because previously we had only ever been given this version of Diagon Alley. This was the version that I grew up with, that I knew, and was wonderful and fun for what it was, but it obviously had, you know, a lot of shortcomings in that it only included 3 buildings, and it also, you know, as far as at the time, it was one of the larger sets that had ever been released by LEGO, period, but it still had quite a few limitations as well. Interestingly enough, though, Quality Quidditch Supplies is not featured in that one. However, its first release and first LEGO form was actually back in 2003 as part of the release of the second movie, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. This version of Quality Quidditch Supplies had some very fun elements to it, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But just a few things that came to my mind, again, as I was kind of reminiscing about those. The old style books, and the one for this one has actual custom printing on it. And then a chrome-plated 1x1 round plate that represented the snitch. But anyway, as you can see, I've made a lot of significant changes to this building from the original. My goal here was to remain as faithful as I could to the source material while also paying homage to the original LEGO version. I also am the type of person that doesn't love to change footprints if I don't have to, so I kind of kept that in mind. But as far as things that I loved about this, and this is kind of true of all of the components of Diagon Alley, but I'm going to pivot it this way so that you can see these little hanging signs were so effective. This was something that's really obvious in the actual movie itself as you're walking down the crowded street of Diagon Alley, and I thought that they really nailed it with the whole street as it's all lined up, and this section is no exception. I also loved this little choice to have the little hanging snitch and quaffles that are there, super adorable, and I think it works really, really successfully. I also loved the storefronts. So as you can tell, just about everything from this first floor down, I haven't really touched at all. In fact, it's maintaining its original pitch and color, and you can see that they managed to get that beautiful slant on the windows that is present in the movie's Invisible. One of the elements that I just really loved about this set. And then obviously this nice neoclassical architecture here for the Daily Prophet entrance I thought was just a great thing. The other element that I really loved about this set as a whole was their decision to do it as a dollhouse backing so that you have access, which we'll look at the back here in just a second. But loved that decision. I thought that was great, as well as having this little street element here so that it could feel almost like a modular, but on a scale that was a little bit more manageable for this type of set. So The things I fixed, however, we'll cover those next. As you can kind of see here, the biggest one I would say is the color. I really hated the pink. I didn't think it was consistent with the movie. I didn't think it was consistent with, what they were going for, and so I swapped that out for this nice burnt orange color. But it is not necessarily consistent with the movie either, so I leaned into matching something that went with the original set from 2003. So that's why I went with this nice color here, and then also echoed that same green, which is present in that 2003 set, and it's the same green that's down here, that sandy green color. Next, I reduced this unnecessary top part. I'll show another picture here of the original set. There was this unnecessary top part that made it so that you could put Weasley's Wizard Wheezes directly back to back with this one, and it would all be encased. This is a functional element that I just didn't need, so I never planned to display them back to back, so I just got rid of it, and I think it makes for a much cleaner and nicer build. I also added windows up here that are much more in keeping with those that are evident in the movie. I think there's only one in the movie, but I went with two to kind of echo that same loftiness and light that you'll kind of see here when I move, when we flip it around. Next up is obviously the Daily Prophet has been really dramatically changed. In the original set, there was no window up here, so I moved it over. But kept the styling of the windows that had been here originally because I thought it fit with this build. And then I extended the color scheme all the way up so that it could look like it was its own standalone building. I hated that it felt like for some reason this had to be pink and then it abruptly changed to gray. It just didn't make any logical sense for me. So I extended this up so that it can be its own standalone building. And then changed this roof line here as well. I was very inspired by the styling of the roof in the Parisian Cafe set from the modular series, and so I tried to kind of echo that here. But yeah, so that's basically what changed there, adding that roof, moving the window over, and then extending the color scheme up. So let's move on to the inside. Really not a whole lot of changes here per se, other than the fact that I just felt like it was kind of lacking in certain opportunities, and so I added a little bit more. So one of the things that you can see here, I made sure that we had coverage for basically all of the different colors of brooms that have existed throughout the Harry Potter line. So each one of those is represented. So I added one more, area for the broom to be. I also made sure that all of the uniforms, all the different house uniforms, you can kind of see back in here where I have Ravenclaw and Hufflepuff, and then Gryffindor and Slytherin. So every house is represented now instead of just two. I also went ahead and added an additional beater bat. For those of you that know, this little one right here is actually one of the original beater bats that they had released, and yes, that is a recolored carrot piece. This was used back in the 2010 version of the Quidditch sets, set number 4737, which I'll throw a picture of in here. But the beater bats back then were just recolored carrots, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of include that little reference there. Next up, we have these beautiful robes that had come along with, I think it's with this Quidditch set that I had robbed these guys from, and then hung them on this little rack that was a nod to the original 2003 sets. Same with these banners down here. And you can even see I've got the original book, which has a beautiful little snitch on it, and then a broom on the back with 3 different goalposts. Such a great little addition from that set. So it's chilling back here. I've also got these fun little banners that is a direct reference to how it appears in Orlando as well as in the movie. This was kind of a tricky thing to make happen in this set, but I managed to figure it out. As well as this nice little sign here that was from the original Quality Quidditch Supplies set. So yeah, aside from that, and even our little gold snitch that's back in here, you can kind of see him tucked right in the back. That was really the only major changes, adding the sign, the flags, book and robes, and the snitch. Let's see here. And then Daily Prophet really didn't change much. I just moved that little scene with the little rat here up into this upper area. I added a floor, moved our little cobweb so that it could kind of have a space still, and then kind of filled this out to feel a little bit more cohesive as a second story. Yeah, so really not a whole lot of changes to Daily Prophet. The main stuff had happened on the outside. I think that's just about everything aside from our minifigs here. So let's talk quickly about Harry and Ron. There's a ton of minifigs in this set, so I'll just cover these two guys here. Ron is pretty standard for how he appears in a lot of these sets, with his short legs and his Gryffindor uniform and that kind of longer hair they gave him. And then, of course, the kind of unique Harry face printing that we have here, which you can kind of see. It's when he's going through the flu powder. And he's got his broken glasses and soot all over his face. It's a super adorable little piece, and one that I just love. So those are our two minifigs that we'll cover for today. And I think that's it for part one of our third set in this journey. If you're interested in following along, please feel free to follow the account. And if there's anything else that you think I should be covering in these reviews, drop a comment and let me know. So thanks for watching and have an awesome day.